Okay, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to work in an explanation that is going to be really useful for the exercises that you have to do in the workshop 10. So we're talking here about area of composite figures. There are going to be areas that are going to be built by using basic figures that you have learned in the geometry class, like the rectangle, circle, square, um, and so on. So let's start with an example, and I'm going to start with one that is really simple, and I'm going to use integer numbers for you to understand a little better. Then we're going to work with fractions. So in this example, what we are going to do is to find the area of the cathedral cross-section. When we're talking about a cross-section, we mean a flat figure. We are not meaning a 3D figure. So it's like you are seeing this cathedral, only this part that you can see in here. And we have a measure of the height. Also, we got this length, the height of this part that is in here, and the bottom. So what we're going to do is to see how we can find the area of this figure, and we're going to follow some steps that I want you to pay close attention. And if you got any question, remember we're going to have a time where we can work out that questions. So let's start. And the first thing that we're going to do is to simplify our figure. As you can see, it was a cathedral, it has trees and so on. We're going to make a scheme that is really simple, like this one. In this one in here, you can see that is with less details. Is not more the cathedral with windows, doors, and trees, but just a plain figure. And if this is a geometric figure, we can find the area. In the second step, what we're going to do is to decompose the figure into simpler ones. So as you can see, I'm using this line in here to show you that in this figure, or this figure was composed by a rectangle that is in here, as you can see, and also by a triangle. It's important that you see that when we got this figure that is in here, this rectangle, we have the length or the height, and also we got the base. That's going to allow us to find the area. As you can see in here, this part in here, we don't know this part, but we can find it if you think about that from here to here we got 6, and from here to here we got 10. So how much do you need to get from 6 to 10? Well, this is going to be 4. I'm going to show you that in this figure that is in here. This length must be 4 because 6 inches plus 4 inches is going to be 10. So you got to be really um, you need to pay a lot of attention to discover these details when you are working with this kind of figures. So we already know the base for the triangle and also the height, and we got our rectangle with a height of 6 inches and with a base of 10 inches. So now that we have discomposed the figure, we can find each area, and then at the end we can add them up because the figures in here are together. So we're going to find this area independent, then this area, and then we're going to add them. And that's going to give us the area of the cathedral. Well, that was our problem, that was we were looking for. So to find the area of each figure, you have to know which is the formula that is going to help you to find that. Remember that the area for a rectangle is defined as base times height, which means that you only have to multiply the base times the height, and that's going to give you the area. So we had to identify our base. In this case, the base is 10 and the height is 6. That's why we write down 10 times 6. And when you make this multiplication, it's going to be 60. In this moment, you may wonder in yourself why I didn't add the inches in here. Well, it's because if I ignore the units of measurement, this problem is going to be simpler, or this multiplication, but at the end we're going to write it down. Remember that the length is in units and the area is in units squares. So now we're going to find the area of the triangle. Remember that the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. So in this case, the base is 4 and the height is also 4. What we're going to have is 4 times 4 divided by 2. But when you multiply 4 times 4, that is 16. And 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. So this is going to be our area. Finally, what we have to take into account is that the area of the cathedral, it was composed by this rectangle and this triangle. Yes, so as long as the problem is asking us which is the area of the cathedral, what we have to do is to take this area that is 60 inches square and this area that is 8 inches square, and we have to add them up. So when we do that, we get that the area of the figure is going to be 60 plus 60 inches squares plus 18 inches squares. That is going to be a total of 78 inches squares. So I hope you guys that you had understand how to find this area. If you got any question, don't doubt to ask me. And as always, take care.